Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight I'm delighted to welcome Glasgow Legion band, the Head of the Traitor, who are a symphonic deathcore band. So it's good to interview these guys again. I interviewed them last year, and it's good to see them back again. And we've got plenty of reasons to talk to the guys again. And it's also pleasing to have an interview with a fellow Scottish band, so we can talk as fast as we like. Uh, but anyway, so we've got guitarist Richie, and we've always got someone that's got something to say. We've got vocalist Darren with us. So how are you guys doing anyway? You managed to escape all this COVID nonsense still, and everything's going well?
Still surviving, yep.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people around me are actually getting it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the next wave at my area, but a lot of people in working that are drunk because of it now. But I've been all right with it.
But it's not in the news or anything like that. It's quite funny. My next door neighbours, the two parents and the two kids have all got it. So fun and games. But anyway, we're not here to talk about COVID. We're here to talk about the Head of the fucking Traitor, I think you should call yourselves. But this band made some noise after releasing Forest of the Impaled in the Beginning last year on Slam Worldwide. I think it was something about, was it February and June or something like that last year? But now the band have released their debut EP called The Beginning. So it's just released a couple of weeks ago. So how did it feel to finally get it out there? I take it it's been a bit of a long year, 15 months.
Yeah, it's been it's been too long. It's been kind of sitting there for a while. But it's nice to get it out there and move on, I guess.
What would you say was the cause of it being like 12 to 15 months? Could this have easily been out like six months ago, for example?
I think so. I think we were dragging on a wee bit with like the mixing and mastering sort of thing, and then I think the recording of drums was taking up a wee bit of time. And then just general, like, everybody just having their family lives, if you know what I mean, like their work lives as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard going. Like, me and Tony are exact opposite shifts for each other. I'm 4 on 4 off, so when he's working, I'm off. Vice versa.
That's a fairly newest thing, like only in the last 6-8 months that's happened as well.
Yeah.
And plus gigs as well, like we've been trying to kind of get our name out there and play a couple of live shows.
Yes, we're certainly going to be talking about them, these live shows later on in the shows that I've seen yet. So, what about you, Richie? How was it for you to like finally get a hold of the product and give it to people and get it out there? And
I was really good. It's first time that I've ever released any kind of material on that scale where you've got a physical thing in your hand, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
were you happy with the band photo that was on the EP?
Yeah. It was actually one of my mates who took the photo. So, big Fred.
Yeah. No, cool. So for those that are new to the band, then how would you say you've obviously released Forest of the Impaled in the Beginning. How would you say the newer songs compared to those two? And how did you think? What were the subtle differences in the songs? Do you think? I knew it would stump you.
I was going to check, let Richie answer it first.
Yeah, with our kind of first couple of releases, they were a lot more kind of introduction level, kind of like, hey, this is us. And within some of the more kind of later releases, this is more like, and this is how we party. That would be the kind of best way to describe it.
Yeah, because I noticed that, and I said that when I spoke about the beginning. The leap from Forest of the Impaled to the Beginning for me was huge. I obviously still like Forest of the Impaled. I don't dislike it at all, but you're still going to have to beat the beginning, I'm afraid. I do like Belial's Sentiment, but the beginning is still the song for me. It's a personal point of view. And while we're talking about personal favourites, what's your personal favourite then, Richie?
Belial. That's my favourite.
Why is it your favourite then? Because you get to play a guitar solo on it?
No, that's Tony.
I don't.
It's the slams at the end that just seems to, like, every time I listen to it, every time I play it, it just shivers.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What about you, Dan? What's your personal fave?
Mine is actually Human Condition.
Why is that then?
I don't know.
Does it mean something more personal to you? The lyrics?
It's I don't know. I think it flows well.
Yeah.
It's no like I like a good slam and breakdown as much as the next reasonable person, right? But I don't know. It's dead melodic, and I don't know. I like the way the vocals all came together at the end, because that was just a wee in the studio here. Let's try that sort of thing, and it worked out good. I don't know. I just like that part, like the very end part with the vocals are like kind of shouting back at each other. And, I like that.
So it's a song that's on the live set that you're looking forward to play the most.
No, well, I've got to agree with Richie. I've got to side with him. Playing that live usually gets people moving, and that's what you want.
Exactly.
So off, not live, Human Condition, live. Sentiment.
Nah, cool. Thanks very much for that, guys. And talking about Belial Sentiment, then I also noticed that you've done a lyric video for that. Is this going to be the only video to conclude the visual side of the album, or do you see yourselves releasing more?
That's a good question.
I know.
Thank you,
George has got a few wee things brewing that we can release out down the line to kind of fill the gap between the next thing that would come out. But George is going to be releasing a couple of videos, if that's any hint to what it could be.
So since June then of last year, nobody's heard of you. Well, it's hard for you guys to keep your name out there then. Have you guys taken on different roles to the band? Like we're talking about George there and the visual side of things. Is he more or less taking care of the visual side of the album and somebody else is taking care of the marketing and the merch and keeping the name of Head of the Traitor out there?
It's a bit of a joint effort. I mean, I try my best. Richie will tell you I like a spreadsheet, man.
Yeah, it does.
I do.
So you're a project manager at heart.
I know. I try my best to keep things organised and like kind of moving forward. But no, George is. I think it. I don't know. I can't answer it.
Well, see how you. I don't want to talk about this now because I'm going to talk about lyrics later on. But do you, when you write your lyrics, do you think, do you know something? That's how I visualize that. That's how I'm going to put an idea forward for a video for the song, for example.
Well, see, with this EP, we were meant to be filming a video, a live video for it.
Okay.
And it was the location was brilliant. We had everything done. We even had equipment booked, fog machines, and you name it. And George, thank God for George being George, he went to scope this place out. It was an abandoned factory. He went to go and scope it out and make sure it was still actually there, even though it'd been there for years and it turned out it'd been repossessed and bolted up. So that threw another spanner in the works because we spent ages planning that, and then we were just put back. So that's why the lyric video ended up being
what it is.
Yeah.
Was it going to be
still good? Still good.
Absolutely. Was it going to be for Belial's?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to get another one out there because you do actually do very good live. You do actually do very good videos. Enjoyed both the videos, and again, getting them on Slam Worldwide, which in itself is a huge thing. So fair play to that. But can I ask, why would the band keep a spreadsheet?
For everything.
Managing lots of things, whether it be tasks or just kind of divvying up like where money is or anything like that, or if we've got anything planned and who needs to be contacted. It's just an easier way to just throw data in and make it look half neat.
What colour is it? What colour has he made you, Richie? Are you pink?
I'm hoping so. I've not seen it.
There's no colours for any people, but I can make that happen.
Good stuff, great stuff, guys. But also, what I like about the EP is the artwork itself. So we're talking about the visual side of the album. I'm particularly impressed about the artwork. So it's real class. So who done the artwork for you?
I can't even remember his name.
Well, I paused the video just now.
It was a guy Tony dealt with. Tony went out his way and bought it himself.
Yeah,
I
this
get
is
when
quite a while ago actually.
I
It was, he seen it and was like, yeah, that's what we're
I'll try and
looking
find
for.
out.
I believe the guy is from Lithuania. And some of his other artwork's really good as well. It's kind of got that kind of similar vibe of kind of overall kind of for it, controlling factors that you may not see kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. So what I'm always interested in, like, what is it you send the artist? Do you actually send them the music? Do you send them like a 1,500 word essay saying this is what we want in the artwork? Or do you just basically say, look, this is what we've got here. You do exactly what the hell you want?
Very much the latter, I would say. And I know that we do have kind of some stuff going through another artist as well, which has been a bit more guided from what I can see. But in that instance, it was very much, this is the general idea. We've seen a lot of your other work and we're choosing you because that artwork is amazing. So we're just letting you do your thing and be creative.
Yeah, cool. Another huge step in your guys' development is that the EP was being released through Total Deathcore then. So how did that come about? How's the relationship been so far? And what do you hope Total Deathcore will bring to the head of the Traitor?
I'd say, you know, if I shorten it down, I would say watch this space. But if you're wanting me to ramble on a wee bit,
mate.
I'll ramble. So Total were looking for a couple like kind of starter bands to join them early on since they're re-coming back because they disappeared for a while, and we signed with Total Deathcore and they help us with merch. They help put us in contact with good people. Basically, what it is it's like Dan, who runs Total Deathcore, is basically helping these lesser known bands take the next leap. That's his goal. That's what he's always been about. Even Total Deathcore back in the day when I was growing up was just like a form. And I remember going on to it. I found Die Artist Murder for that website. But yeah, that's his goal, and I think he's did a fantastic job. And his past experiences, he back in the day he helped Die Art play in the US. He released Infant Annihilator's first album.
Love them.
I know, man. That's a big one. I'm pretty sure they done a release for Black Tongue as well. So he done a lot back in the day, and this is him just coming back to it. And he's just started just before we announced we partnered up with him. So I say kind of next year time you'll start to see really good things coming for that avenue.
You were talking about a US tour there?
Well, it's early days now.
Yes.
It's very, very early days, but you know, if the guy could have done it back then for Die Artist Murder, you know.
Exactly. You've got.
You know what? I'm holding my breath on that one because I think it will. I think it will.
You've got to dream though, but it shows you what can happen when you've got the like. I don't know if there's like a lot of financial backing for you guys, but was there ever the talk of like, no, we're going to remain independent, we're going to keep on doing things ourselves, we're not going to put any pressures with deadlines and we've got to record 6 songs for next month or something like that? Or were you always hoping that somebody like Total Deathcore would pick you up?
At the beginning,
both. Yeah, at the beginning it was very much laid back and kind of let's just see where it goes, play a couple of gigs and have a bit of fun. But I think kind of just it's like kind of stars align and we kind of just walked into it and everything's kind of lined up and been like, well, I guess this is the next step.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It would be wise. It would be silly not to kind of walk away from somebody's basically saying here we're willing to help out and kind of see what we can do together. Like
the support so far for them has been unbelievable. Dan's usually there all day and night to answer any question that I may fling at him, and that's good because I'm a paranoid wreck, so I'm always flinging questions everywhere. But I think it's going to be good.
Well, I hope it leads on to great things, and I look forward to seeing the announcements then. I was hoping to get a wee exclusive there, but that's fine. That's fine. You can keep it to yourselves for now. But how were the songs constructed for the EP then? Are they the main songwriters of the songs, or is the head of the Traitor a band where all members contribute?
So with the kind of musical aspects to it, a lot of the tracks were originally written by Tony, and then worked with George to produce the drum track, and Darren, who's not here right now, he basically laid his lyrics on top of that. So at the moment, myself and David, well, David a wee bit more, he's adding his kind of bass lines in and such, but for the musical aspects, it's definitely been more like overall, not just kind of guitar riffage and whatnot, like overall creation has been Tony.
Yeah. So I take it then Tony was the one that sent you riffs at 4 o'clock in the morning saying this is the best fucking riff ever, by the way.
Aye. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it a hard job, Darren, trying to keep Richie's Motley Crue influences out of the band?
No, not at all. I encourage it.
Well, it might add another touch, so who the hell knows? But yes, with you being the vocalist, Darren, we're going to talk about you for a wee minute, right? With the EP then, did you write all the lyrics for the songs then, or did you welcome contributions from other members of the band?
Quinn Hartlett and Alex Ive wrote their own lyrics for their feature parts. Tony did fling. He helped me a wee bit with Forest. I had a wee bit of a mental break with that, but other than that, it was on more.
What was it? Was it a line or was it a chorus you couldn't quite get?
See, it was so long ago because it was like the first one.
Aye.
I can't remember. I remember it was getting to the point where it was like, right, you need to hurry up, Dan. I was like, oh fuck! And he sent me a couple of things, and I made it work. I took out segments of what he sent me and put it in, and it kind of fitted nice.
Yeah. So you're the type of guy that's always got a pad and a pen on you, or a book and a pen on you, and you see something in the street and you just write a couple of lines. Are you always somebody like that you're always writing lyrics? No. So that's why the guys are telling you going to hurry the fuck up, Darren.
No, I wait until Tony gives me like the instrumental, and then I'll just sit with it on repeat for however long it needs to be.
Yeah.
With a subject in mind, and then they just kind of fall into the song.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the thought of having lyrics written out and then having to try and squeeze it into the song. I don't like that.
Okay.
But
was there a particular track that took longer than others? You just couldn't get it? You couldn't get something to fit?
I don't know. I really don't know. I was writing, if it's going to be for comparison, I was writing yesterday. No, sorry, 2 days ago. For this wee song, a wee thing to promote us and this other band. And that only took me like a day, and that was a whole song. But it's been known to take a lot longer.
Well, I was going to say that. You shouldn't have said that in a recording, by the way, because the band are now going to play that back to you 101 times when they're waiting on lyrics for a song.
Don't worry, I'll be on the ball.
Yeah. But since Forest of the Impaled and The Beginning and the EP The Beginning, then, what in that time had you been working on in your vocals? Like, was there a particular aspect of your vocals that you wanted to... Like, do you know something? I've noticed your vocals getting a hell of a lot deeper. Like, you're almost like pig squeals. It's just a hell of a lot deeper. So I don't know whether you've been practicing more.
I don't really know. For this EP, no. I think I definitely pushed myself to an extent, but if we're going forward, I can talk about what I'm trying to do for that.
Well, then drop it in.
But I think what you're talking about, you've seen like the progress of me doing it a lot more than I was before the band. Like before the band, it was just like a wee. I guess this is still a hobby, but it's fucking great. But before the band, it was just new and again. Whereas like now that I'm in a band, it's like I'm doing it at shows, I'm doing it at practice. I need to practice more at home because, bloody Joe's and blah blah blah.
How many Asbos you got?
Asbos?
Aye. Your neighbours complaining about you?
No. Jim, he's all right. He's a good guy. But right now, I'm trying to get down the whole tunnel vocal thing, which I'm starting to get in a good place with that. So,
You got an inspiration? Is there somebody that you look up to in particular? Dickie Allen?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's hard.
I see, I'm putting you on the spot. See, I gave you the opportunity for these questions to
somebody asked me that the other day, right? And I wouldn't even say he's my favourite vocalist, right? But see Ben Dewar and new album that they released. His vocals, and I mean his vocals are great, right? But his vocals in that new album are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's definitely somebody to look up to, but is he my best vocalist? I don't know. I don't think I could pick my best one.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks very much for that. But also, see, in a live environment, sorry, Richie, this is last one about Darren. I'm getting fed up with him already. But also see in a live environment, just when the instrumental starts, you just shut yourself out. You go into a completely different zone. It's as if you shut people out. You shut out absolutely everything, and it's as if you're in a world of your own. What is it you think about when you're on the stage and you're one of the main focal points of the band? What is it you think about psyching yourself up and getting ready to perform? I remember specifically Vulvectomy. No, Vulvectomy. Vulvodynia. I was mixing two bands up there. Vulvodynia. You just stood and you didn't turn around, you didn't face a crowd or anything like that. You just stood, you just completely zoned out. And I've seen you do it a couple of times. Even at the beginning of songs, you just zone out.
I don't know. I guess that's me just telling myself, right, staying time. I don't know. It's a buzz just doing that to begin with, man. Richie will tell you, man. It's just, I don't know. And I feel like the later shows have been so much better.
Absolutely.
Now that people are actually starting to know our music and stuff like that. But no, I know what you mean, because I feel myself doing it, and I know I'm doing it, but I'm not really thinking much. Just
do you know that there's a YouTube video of your performance at Vulvodynia?
I think so.
Because I was going to say, would you ever watch yourself?
I do it. Aye.
Do you?
I deliberately do it. It's the same way games as well. Like when I was back in the day when I was taking it a bit more serious competitively, man, I would watch back on myself playing. You can take 15-minute segments.
Yeah.
And I go watch back myself playing and go, where did I go wrong there? Or how can I improve on myself? And I don't know, the way I see it is people are paying us for a performance, aren't they? So I need to get the best that I possibly can at that time.
Well, keep on doing what you're doing, because like I said, I've noticed a massive improvement. Not that I'm saying that you needed to improve or anything like that, but
no, I did.
Definitely doing something.
When you compare it to the first show to now, I don't even like to watch the videos, man.
Cool. Thanks very much for that, Darren. So, Richie, when it comes to the songs, I know that you said that Tony wrote a lot of it, but when you've got your own personal influences and you're 6 people in the band, so you've got 6 different sets of influences in the band. How do you keep it all together? How do you negotiate what stays in and what goes out of a song?
To be honest, it's been really straightforward. It's never really had any kind of gripes in that aspect. The only parts I'll take a riff, for example, that Tony's written, and then I'll be doing a harmony or changing the position of the harmony, etc. It's mostly that kind of stuff. The music, we've all agreed that we love it, and I don't think any parts should be changed. Maybe kind of harmonized differently, and yeah, we've discussed that and implemented it, but there's very much been they're full entire songs that Tony kind of writes up. So he's got a greater story in mind that isn't just, oh, we've got a riff here, let's expand from there. It's like, what is the overall arc of the kind of the song, and working around that, like the musical kind of orchestras and the monk singing and all that kind of stuff in the background. That's not something you just throw in at the end. That's kind of fundamental kind of building blocks before the song's even kind of any riffs have been written.
Yeah. So now that the EP was largely written by Tony, then are you bringing your influence more into the riffs? Yeah, and he's welcoming that, is he?
I hope so. With a lot of the stuff kind of going forward, we are kind of putting our heads down just now to get new material out and stuff like that. So we have been saying for quite a long time that me and Tony should get together and just jam it out, but we organise a weekend and it's like, oh, something's happened, or oh, so-and-so's fell unwell, or so-and-so's got COVID. So it's been really hard, especially with the distance as well.
Yeah. Well, looking to see, I mean, do you bring in like the more death metal influences, or do you bring the more symphonic stuff in, or do you bring the deathcore stuff in? What's your personal touch?
I would probably bring more of the core side in. I originally come from a kind of metalcore background. So that's kind of there, as well as a wee bit of kind of more mainstream kind of deathcore, such as like IR or After the Burial, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
But Tony's introduced me to, well, it's a band I already knew of. I watched Dean on YouTube quite a lot, but Archspire.
Yes.
And just really loving them right now. But those riffs are insane.
Mate, none of them are human, man. Like, what is that? I don't get it.
I know. But listen, guys. That's brilliant. Thanks very much for that, guys. So now that the doors have opened up again, then, so are you getting together like a couple of times a month and things to like get some riffs and get some songs ideas? So where do you record and where do you rehearse?
We're currently practicing in Headhunters in Glasgow. When we're talking about meeting up and stuff, we actually recently met up. Was it last weekend?
Last week or the week before? I can't
mind either. I think it was last weekend actually. But unfortunately, as Darren said, Tony's in different shifts. So basically, it's either we jam with Tony with no Darren, or vice versa, we jam with myself with no Tony and a Darren. So it seems to work, but unfortunately I had some issues. And we eventually did show up about 2 o'clock when rehearsal was at 12, but we ended up going for a bite to eat at Bear Out Star and get a wee catch up and talk through. That was really good.
Cool. You probably get more work done with Tony not being there, so it's probably a good idea to do that more often. Just don't tell him that you're meeting up.
I think it's Tony gets more work done when we're not there.
Cool.
We've got another wee meet up in a couple of weeks' time as well. So 25th, yeah. But I think there might be something else going on. But we're trying to kind of ramp it up a wee bit. We have went a couple of months without being as a group, really just playing shows and kind of getting this EP out and stuff like that.
That's it. Well, talking about playing shows, as I just said, that the world's opened its doors to playing live again. So I've obviously seen you a couple of times, more recently at Vulvodynia. I was going to say Vulvectomy again. Vulvodynia. But also see that you've got another gig coming up in the very near future. But what other plans do you have for the live front?
We've got a couple of things in the work just now. Kind of just making sure that we're all available and they don't clash with any other gigs or stuff like that. We might be hearing a wee call out pretty soon, potentially.
Yeah, there's stuff happening. Well, let's just say we're looking towards next year.
Good.
Next year's hopefully is going to be a busy year.
You've also got a gig in October, don't you?
Yep.
I think it's the 5th of October.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know.
That's the 5th, yeah.
Osaya.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That'll be good, man.
I think that'll be a good gig. It's a broadcast. That'll be a good gig, I'm sure. But I take it you guys are willing to play from John the Groats down to Cornwall. You guys will just play anywhere, work them out. Right.
Leave it
Say
at
no
that.
more, say no more. Again, I was trying to find exclusive people, but they're not. They're selfish. But I look forward to hearing. I look forward to reading what you guys are going to put up as announcements. But I was going to go back to the EP for one last question. I forgot to ask this. The way that the EP was recorded, then, are you going to take anything from that recording to your next recording? Like, did you learn any lessons from the way that you done the singles, tried them out with the EP, and you're now going to try and change them a wee bit for your next recording? Or were you happy with the way things were done with EP? Tons.
I think, when you release it and you take in the feedback and then you improve going forward. Yeah. So like some things that we noticed it was taking away with this EP, as we talked about earlier on, it took ages.
Yeah.
We're changing things going forward to stop that from happening. So
is that again with the support from Total Deathcore? Is that something that you as a band are going to do?
Everybody.
More internally, yeah.
I would say more the band. Obviously, Total helping the rain-wise, but if you're talking just writing music, and then getting a product out, then we've definitely learnt from our mistakes the first time, and it should be a lot smoother now.
Yeah. Well, anything for yourself, Richie? The way the guitars were recorded, the guitars you used, or?
I think, yeah, overall, just kind of.
Do you feel it was rushed or anything, or took too long?
Yeah, definitely took too long. With the guitars, it's mostly to do with kind of tonage, really, kind of dialing back a few things and making sure that that's all good. And of course, we've recently, both me and Tony and David as well now, run through headrush pedals. So it's just mastering that bit of equipment and getting the best possible tone out we could.
Yeah, cool. Well, listen, guys, I've only got a wee short segment left, but this is the opportunity for to tell people that if they're interested in buying the EP or any merch or anything like that, where will they find it?
You find the merch, you find the EP on the website.
Which is theheadofthetraitor.com. Right.
Yes. Secondly, our next show, Osaya, right?
Yeah.
You buy your ticket through our website.
Yeah.
You get entered into a wee raffle where you can win a t-shirt, an EP, and we might get you a wee soda pop at the bar.
And not to mention, the CD is the first print as well.
Aye, the very first print. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you better get your act together and get along to that friggin' gig.
Yeah, I mean, buy it through us. Stay sweat off your back, and you might get something for free.
Yeah, I would have settled for a kiss, cuddle, and a hug, but since you're throwing all these extra wee gifts in, I'll be there, man. I'll be there. So that brings me on to the merch. Have you got new ideas for merch?
Oh, aye.
Is it yourself that comes up with ideas, or is it everybody and you send it off to the printers?
Well, I've always everybody kind of throws in their own ideas, and it will end up in the chat somewhere or another, where everybody can give their opinions on it. Right. Sometimes we say our last t-shirt design, the artist had already made that, and we bought that from him.
Okay.
I'm talking to somebody that knew a bit of a more personal, no personal design, but you know what I mean. I'm no just he's building it for kind of scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm giving him influences on what to build for that. That one's going to be a wee bit more in depth, but I can't wait to get that out. That's going to be nice. And you're going to be sitting in your next interview with it on.
Well, I was going to sit with my maroon one on, but I didn't want to appear like a fanboy.
How? we send all the fanboys to David.
I talked to
He
you,
takes care
Dan.
of them.
That is enough for me. I talked to you. That is enough for me. Yeah, but cool. So you've got your merch and you've got your shop and everything like that. It's absolutely brilliant. But now the last question I'm going to ask you is, Dan, you being the vocalist, I think we've talked about this before. Have you went through, with the recording of the EP then, have you went through the range of microphones before you settled with the one that you used for the EP? Or did you just use the microphone in the studio and just record?
Forest and The Beginning, the first two singles were recorded on, it was a wee cheap like mic interface kit.
Okay.
And then the rest of the songs on the EP were recorded with an SM7B.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's different.
so I know. It's because me and my mate Sean, who helps me record in his studio, we both chipped in for it, half each, because he's going to use it in the studio, obviously, and
yeah,
I can come run and use it anytime I like. Because I'd be gone there to record anyway, but ever since that, and then live, it's just the same old 57, is it?
Yeah.
Classic. You can't go wrong with that, man. You really. I've never tried anything else to compare it to.
Yeah.
As much as I. Well, on you go. There you go.
It's quite interesting because when I interviewed Brainbath a couple of interviews ago, especially when you're playing a live front and there's like three bands on in front of you, then you get the same mic. He's like, oh no, that's just infections and COVID's written all over it and stuff like that. So he plays his own microphone live.
You bring your own one, man, because the house ones tend to be a bit funky.
I remember seeing one vocalist, Steve Austin of Today's the Day, and one of his vocal styles is he actually swallows a microphone.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal to see him live was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I never saw that before, and I've never seen it again since. But that was huge, phenomenal. But Richie, here we go. I can probably have another 40-minute Zoom call with us because we're going to talk about the guitar that you use for the recording. What's your setup, your pedals, your speakers, whatnot?
I'm running as many people would think it would be, and I wish it was. I run an Earth that is kind of a clone of a Strandberg, which is a headless 6-string
Nice.
with strings, I forget, Diodarios into a headrush pedal. And from there we then connect into I believe I've just got some Pioneer speakers as monitors, and we run all DI on stage and also when recording.
Don't forget to talk about your fingers. You guitarists and string people, man, with your fingers, man. I just don't know how you do it.
How many fingers do you use?
At least 7.
7. He loops them up too.
But I forgot what I was going to... Yes. Have you ever thought of like playing like a 7-string then? Has that ever been talked about within the band? Or have you always...
Every weekend. So the way that we are tuned, we would only gain an additional high note if we went to 7. So there could potentially be talks of getting 8s. And when I say potentially, I mean like Tony's already got one, and I'm about to buy one.
Did you say 8?
8. Yep.
So what will you gain out of that, apart from 2 strings? Don't be cheap.
2 extra strings, yeah. But as I mentioned, the way we run our 6 strings is so low tuned that we would, if we went to 7, we'd only gain a high string. So by going to 8, we would gain a high string and a low string.
A bass string.
So much more extended range. Yeah, an extra bass string.
Yeah.
Which this
bass is good. Everybody loves bass.
This in turn allows David to get a 6-string bass as well.
Yeah.
So more strings, more happy, such one.
Yeah.
Well, this is when you find out.
George doesn't need anything else. Sorry, I just had to put that. George, you don't need anything else, right?
That's when you find out if your hands are big enough, Richie, with your 8 strings.
They definitely will be.
You make them fit. Cool. But so that's what you recorded with the EP, but you're looking to progress maybe onto an 8-string for your next recording. Well, I look forward to seeing that live as well. I don't think I've ever seen an 8-string guitar
Surely you
live.
have.
Probably. Yeah. Maybe there were 2 bassists in the band or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, listen, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you once again. I think the Asaya gig is it's the 5th of October, and I'm sure that's a Wednesday night. I see the wee man first, but I'll come along to that, so I know where to bring him. He's 8.
Aye.
Bring
him.
Aye. Okay.
I'll buy myself
Aye. But listen, I'll continue to do my bit to support you guys. I'll keep on doing it, playing you guys on Moshville Radio. I'm going to, well, that's a question I can ask you then. See, I thought you were getting away. There seems to be a wee bit of a resurgence at the moment for extreme metal as a whole within Scotland. I mean, you've got bands like you've got like Penny Coffin, you've got Brain Bath, you've got a Photic still, you've got yourselves. It's just, I don't know what's happening at the moment. Do you feel that it's always been there in the underground, but maybe since COVID, people are going to more local shows and discovering these bands and they're getting bigger audiences?
Well, a Photic, I think they bring it in as their own anyway. They've been about for a while.
Aye.
But I don't know. I think it's a wee bit of both, to be honest. Well, I certainly fell away for the whole gig scene for a very, very long time. Just got to like local gigs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after lockdown that's when I started to go back. I think I was just at one that other week there. It was an audio. But I think it's a bit of both, because people did, like, you take something away from somebody and then they were like, oh, what are you doing? Aye, use that back. So aye, that's how it was with me anyway. But definitely some of there was we're lockdown babies, aren't we?
Yep, definitely.
Aye, there was a couple of them obviously to come out of it, but I think I think the Glasgow scene kind of peaked at a wee bit and then like dipped.
Yeah.
And now after lockdown, it's gone up again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everyone's like, oh, I really miss playing and getting out there and getting gigs in the go. But I think the kind of extremer side of things is becoming more mainstream. Well, not mainstream, but more mainstream in the kind of metal genre, where you've got like great bands out there that are really pushing it, and they're heavy as balls. So
that's what I'll call this interview, heavy as balls.
Yes.
But thanks for that, man. But like I said to you guys, thanks very much, and I'll keep on doing our bits here at Moshville Radio. Anything new that's coming up, let us know. We'll do a bit to promote it at Moshville Times. We love you guys. We've got you on our festival on December the 10th at Ivory Blacks. That was a cheap plug there. We'll certainly do a bit because we believe in you guys, especially myself. So I'm beginning to get a wee bit emotional here, so I might have to end this interview. But you guys take care of yourself, okay? And look forward to speaking to you again.
Do take care as well. Thanks for having us.
Cheers. Cheers.
Bye.